It's a cold day. It's a real cold snap coming through. I think this week's been the coldest week of the winter. -7 this morning. I dare say if you're in Canada or Alaska or Siberia or wherever, northeast US, you think I'm a wimp for thinking that -7's cold, but here -7's quite cold. Station 10 frame is here in the finished pile. That's done, sanded up, bit of filler around. It will need an adjustment later on where that bunk comes through. Later on it'll be cut. There's a longitudinal bulkhead comes in here. That bit will be cut out. But for now, for forming the boat, that's finished. If you come over here, Kerry, you see in blue here, can you see that on the floor? In blue there, I've lofted out station 11. So that's ready to go. Yep, there we are. There's the stem and knee. Put that back in front there. Laid up at the top there is the deck beam for the station 11. That's done and ready. So I'm going to cut some ply for station 11 and get on. Another thing that I looked at earlier. This is the engine bed that the engine mounts on, and I was a bit concerned that it had to fit in there. I checked that it fits in between. This is the station 9 line here, which will be where the engine hatch goes, and it needs to fit between station 9 and station 11, and it does comfortably. So that's good. Bit of thought needed on this one. Firstly, I think Kerry and I will fit the engine. Obviously, I just laid it the wrong way around. It does actually go that way around. Kerry and I will need to fit the engine on here, see how it fits. Just check it. I think it's the right one. It came with the engine. I assume it's the right one. And then we need to cut. We need to decide exactly where it's coming. And this is the curve. The pink line is the curve of the bottom of the boat. And we will need to cut that engine bed with that same curve on there, which will be interesting. We'll do that soonish, I think, in the next week or two. Then this needs grinding back around in there and there, so this can be fiberglassed into the boat. I don't think I'm happy with fixing it in only with fiberglass. I think I'm going to put some mechanical fixings in as well. I'll make up some iron or stainless steel brackets to secure it as well. But yeah, that's got to be done. But anyhow, it does fit. Plenty of room for it in the engine room. That's good. So that can go back over against the shelf there. Okay, so we're looking here at the station 11 bulkhead. It's the last of the bulkheads, as you see. Usual deck beam, side beams, floor beam. Yeah, we're going to have a couple of battens coming up for the side walls of the engine room. One up here, one up here. Should get them on in a bit. And then turn it over. These two side pieces are missing from the other side, but that's all that is missing. So turn it over, get that on. And that'll be that done. So it's nearly finished. 12's just a V. I've got 2 days holiday next week. So I shall have 12 finished by next week. And that's all of the flat pack sections done. I shall get 12 and the stem done on my holiday next week. I'm sure. That'll be all of the flat pack bits done, as I just said. And the next job is kind of exciting, is to get on setting them up. So the day sailor will have to go out. Bit of organising to do there. We'll have to build a strong back in here, and then start to set the pieces up, and it'll start to look like a boat then, which will be very exciting. That's where we are. So I think by the end of well, I say next week I should get the bits done. That's the middle of February, isn't it? So after that, it will be starting with the setting up. Certainly by early March, we'll be having bits standing up here, I think. Looking forward to that, because then we'll see the size of the boat instead. You know, at the moment it's just a pile of old bits, isn't it? But then it will start to look like a boat. That will be very interesting. Well, new feature coming up: Tony's Tool Tips, where I'm going to each time going to review a tool or piece of equipment that I use in the boat building. I'll start with the ones that I use the most, the ones that I think are the most useful. One thing is important to say is that nobody's given me any kind of sponsorship, any kind of money to do this. These are completely independent reviews. I am open to people sending me tools to have them reviewed, of course. In the unlikely event that actually happens, I will be upfront about it. I will tell you. But certainly, we're starting off as completely independent reviews, and will probably stay that way. This is the first one coming up. Thought I'd do, well, a feature, a bit of a feature. How exciting. Something about tools that I use the very most in this project, and the obvious place to start is the tool that I use the most, and there's no doubt about what that is. It's the trusty table saw. We've seen it already when I had the issue with the old one burning out and put this one together. As I said, it's a Toolson table saw, cheap, €150 I think it cost. Essential because you can mill your own size of lumber. I buy, can you see that piece there? It's 16 centimetres by 6, Doug fir, comes in lengths up to 13 metres. Obviously, if I'm buying it myself, I can't buy 13 metre lengths, but 16 centimetres wide, 6 centimetres thick. Here's a bit here that was that, and you know, I'm milling off the bits for the side frames on here. Run it through there. I'm cutting off any size I want. You've got to have a table saw. So you've got the guide on the side. You can come in here, Hazel. You see it's marked with measurements, but they're not stunningly accurate. So I always use a tape measure to measure it. They're good for a guide, but you know, if you want to be accurate, you need to check it, measure it. But gives you a guide for your width, obviously, whatever. It runs through nice and straight. You can run your piece of wood through there to cut off whatever sizes you want. If you're its depth of cut is 85mm. So if you're cutting anything deeper, you need to take this dust extractor bit off, which is a bit of a fiddle, but it comes off like that. And then you can run thicker bits through. Obviously it only cuts, I'll just put this nut on there before I lose it. Only cuts 85mm deep, but you can put thicker bits through and then turn them over and cut them from both sides, so you can cut bigger pieces. You have the possibility on here to angle the blade up to 45 degrees. So you've got the degree markings there, up to 45 degrees, as I say. You can set the blade to whatever angle you want. Put it back around to upright. At the moment, this handle here adjusts your blade height, so you can cut whatever depth of cut you want. If you're cutting a rebate, you can set it back to to a lesser depth. So really essential piece of kit. As you might remember, I put a different blade on it, a better blade that I got from eBay. It's a lovely blade, cuts really nicely. If you look at this here that I run those side frames off this morning, you see the quality of the cut. You can see the saw marks, but it's a nice straight cut. And just, you know, if you're finishing a piece up, a sander on that, and it comes up fine. So that's that. I seem to remember it's a 2000 watt motor. It had a 5-year guarantee. I've told you this already. Brilliant. You know, if you're doing a project like this, you need a table saw. So you can get much better table saws for a lot more money. But I say basic €150 table saw, absolutely essential. That's my tool review from this week. Well, we're in the cellar. As you can see, it's not the most comfortable place in the world, but I wanted to get this. This is the Station 11. I wanted to get this glassed and epoxied, so I brought it down here yesterday. Bloody uncomfortable place to work because, as you can tell, you can't stand up in here, but you can work in a crouchy way. Anyhow, this side glassed and epoxied. I will turn it over and do the other side today. And that's what that looks like. It's looking good, just about finished. Did it yesterday, dried off nicely, looking great. So I shall have another day of crouching in here, do the other side. Well, it's not a day, it's an hour or so. But we'll get that done. And the next thing, we'll just show you the state of play. So we'll go outside now. You have to go in both sheds because we've got things going on in both. So we'll just cut here and wander outside and show you what's going on out there. Right, we're in the shed. We're looking at the deck beam for the number 12, the very last deck beam. It's clamped, it's dried. You've seen me take these clamps off before, but we're that far, so let's just do that. Won't take very long. Let's see how this has come out. Look, it's sprung a little bit, that one. Not too bad. Not too bad. It's a bit over length. I put 3 of these sets of plates on this one to hold it all in line. Quite useful. It's just these metal joining plates, but any old piece of metal will do the job. That's straight. Just clamp them on the side, and there we go. There's our final deck beam. Needs a good clean up. Yeah, quite nice. Dug fur that I use has got a few knots in it. If it's small knots, are not a problem at all. They do need to be tight knots. That'll be fine. Not the most brilliant piece of wood in the world, but good enough. I should put some epoxy over those knots. There's 1 or 2 little splits in there that I shall fill up. But that'll be good. Looks fine. Okay, now we'll just go next door and have a quick look in there. Yeah, and lastly in here, lofted out the Station 12. It's a sort of triangular piece here. This line. I haven't drawn the deck beam on there yet. I'll just bring that in, lay it in place, draw that, and that's the last station. We've got a stern post that comes down here, that pink line, with a triangular knee, sorry, on there to make. Wood's over there ready for it. As I said earlier, I've got 2 days holiday coming up, so I shall get that done this week for sure, and that will be all of the flat back sections done. Good, and then we'll get on. Exciting times.
Riches in the sunset, standing at the sea, Tell me where you're going so decisively. What's your destination? Tell me where you're bound. We can move together where adventures abound. Running free before the breeze. Are there many days such as these?